Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part 2 to What If Deku Had a Transformation Quirk? And I'm going to add a little thing to the story. Nothing too crazy, again, like last time, but I don't know if I mentioned this. I probably didn't, but Deku can only do the transformation into the other characters like in do combat like only could transform two times into two different characters like within so like after she transforms, it takes a lot of stamina to transform, so she can only do two transformations before she gets tired. um and she has to wait probably 2 hours to transform again. So whoever um so say and that goes with her doing it kind of involuntarily. So because sometimes the third characters will take Deku's place and her personality switches over. But through further training, um she will increase that to she could transform to all four characters without doing the sweat. But I think right now um it adds a little more thinking to Izumi, because she's like, what's the best situation? I only have two transformations before I have to wait for till I because it really kind of basically it it drains her of her stamina if she transforms, because um to keep in mind, the characters can use their abilities too. So um also I might change this, but I think it through training she will unlock she more time to transform to the characters. So I just want to say that that's a little caveat I have right now, or not whatever. I think I rambled long enough, so let's get into the story. So where we last left off, um, Izumi just met All Might and met Momo, the next successor of All Might. So the All Might made a deal with Izumi. He's like, you can train with us, if you keep it a secret. And Izumi agrees, and sorry I say a lot. I don't mean to, but anyway. So they do their training for to get into UA, and in the meantime, Izumi has been transformed into Ruby more, because Izumi decided Ruby would be the best to make their the weapons. And another thing I like to point out is when Izumi transforms, um into another character, her clothes does not change, so it's like um she's still in the same outfit, so she's kind of figure out how to get like a outfit changer with her quirk to when she transforms, but that's probably further down the road. But yeah, right now, so like if she transforms into Yang into like in pajamas, the clothes don't change, so it's like the pajamas are a little bigger on her. So I don't know. So that's another sad thing. Sorry, back to the story. So Izumi at nights has been in Ruby because Ruby is making the weapons for the her weapon for support weapon basically, which is the scything, Yang's gauntlets, and etc. It's gonna be like a prototype, so it's not gonna be like the finished product yet, but it's what Zumi could afford. Kind of, she's gonna dive into dumpsters and putting together the weapon. So that's what she's doing at night, and then at day, she is training with All Might and Momo, and Momo and Izumi become close, like good friends at the um, training sessions. So this is the time. I'm just gonna skip to the UA testing, or we can get to it, and we have Izumi doing a smile. She's like, after all those months of training, I hope I finally ready. And as she takes her first step, uh, she trips about to fall, and gets stopped, but by like the whole bit with Uraraka, she gets floating, and Izumi's like, "Oh, thank you," and then she's like, the Uraraka's like, "No problem. See you inside," and she runs inside. And Izumi's like, "Oh, I hope they don't mind if I do this, but if it's a test to observe our abilities, this will work." And she transforms into Weiss to take the test because we all know Weiss is the best test taker out there. So before she enters, she transforms into Weiss and does her test. And Weiss is like, "Ha, I sorry, blanked out there for a second." Yeah, Weiss is like, "This test is really easy. Even a numbskull could get into these pass this test." So as she's walking up to the next part, and President might explain in the next part of the phase, Ida does this thing. This annoys Weiss a little bit, and she's like, "Will you be quiet and let the teacher explain?" And kind of going on that Cinderella mode where he's like, you let the teacher explain, he's probably gonna get to it. And so yeah, White just snaps on Ida a little bit for disrupting the class. And President Mike's like, yeah, thank you, miss. I was about to get to it. He explains the situation. And so we'll just get straight into the quick will battle. And before the battle, Weiss is like, I don't get enough time to stretch my legs. But the weapon that I made, or my other side made, is not designed for my combat abilities right now. So it's like, I guess she's up for battle. And she transforms into Yang. And Yang walks up to the front, but right before Yang is about to walk up to the front, gets stopped by Ida. It's like you. And Yang's like, yeah, what do you want? He's like, you were gonna plan to distract that girl up there. And Yang's like, no, I wasn't. If you mind your own business, let me focus on my test. And you're kind of distracting me right now. And her eyes flash red. She's a little annoyed by this character. And Ida like walks back. He's like, sorry, you're right. And Yang can't stay mad, and he's like, it's okay, just let's focus on the test. And Yang's like, I hope this no time like the present to test out my new gadget. And she pulls something out from her backpack and pushes a button, and two yellow gauntlets pop out. It's kind of like rusted, so it's not like fully built. And Yang's like, I hope they don't mind if I use a thing to get some speed. There's no there's no basically there's no bullets or anything like that. So basically it just well, there is, but it's like impact shells, so it's like mostly for mobility. That's what the Yang has right now. So yeah, she puts on her gauntlets and it's like, well, let's test these puppies out. Gives a smile, bangs her fists together, and the doors open. And right when the doors open, she starts running for a little bit, shoots at the ground. She's away from people, so it doesn't affect, and starts smashing up robots. And as the test is going, Yang is looking around to smash robots, and she sees like other kids get overwhelmed, and she jumps in, destroys the robot, helps them out. Like if they're on the ground, Yang picks them up and like helps them up and to fight other robots. So Yang is quite really destroying the competition and getting watched by the teachers in the observation box. So we're going to cut there. And the Nezu and All Might and the other teachers are watching um the students, and Nezu's like, oh, that blonde one over there kind of has the same fighting style as that other one with the explosions. I wonder if they're siblings. Yeah, and as I was like, also in those gauntlets she has kind of brings out the same effect as the explosions. So maybe she has to wear that for her quirk. Who knows? And All Might's keeping quiet because he's seen this form before, but he's like, I will keep it a surprise until later. All Might's like smiling to himself. And he's like, that girl is full of surprises. I never saw that the weapon be used before. Hmm. And so we cut back to Izumi or Yang fighting more robots. And then Nezu's like, okay, it's almost time. Um, Time's almost up, so let's send out the zero pointer. Zero pointer pushes a button. Yang looks at, like, hears something rumbling in the distance and sees the zero pointer. And she's like, well, they said on the test that has no point value, and there's nothing really. I really don't want to get too injured on the test. So she starts to run away. And I know it's a little out of character for Yang too, like, but she's trying to not be too cocky right now. So, because Izumi is kind of still in control of the like power, so it's still Izumi doing the thing. It's just, Yang's more personality type comes out, but it's mostly still Izumi in the pilot seat right now. So yeah, that's my way to explain it. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Clear my throat all the time. Sorry. So as Yang starts to run away, um, she hears the screams and sees that same girl who helped her up before under some rubble, about to get crushed. And Yang's like, oh, that's not good. And she rushes in and tries to save Uraraka. Um, Yang goes for a big, big ass punch, shatters the boulder in one punch. Quickly grabs Uraraka and dashes out right before they get stepped on. In a fluid moment. I'm so sorry about that. So they get out of the way, and Yang's like, "Are you okay?" And Uraraka's like, "Yeah, thank you." And she sees Yang there, and well, here's the safety. um, can you move? And Uraraka's like, I can't really move that well. I sprained my ankle pretty bad. And the 0 pointer is walking towards him. He's like, well, hold on here. And Yang, he's like, I'm gonna have to destroy this robot for it won't proceed to hurt anyone. So she runs, does some acrobatics with the gauntlets, and she's like, hope this is gonna hurt a little bit. And she jumps, punches the robot. The robot doesn't gets damaged a little bit, but the robot smacks Yang and towards the ground, and Yang is kind of really badly hurt because like got hit by a giant robot, kind of straight back to the ground. That's gonna leave some marks, and Yang's like, almost knocked me out, but I'm glad it didn't. And her eyes turn red, her hair kind of engulfs in flames, and Yang uses her ability, like when she gets damaged, she could double it back. Basically, Yang's using her power, which is her semblance. So now she has double power, and everyone in the teachers' lounge is stunned by this. Even takes all my back. She's like, she never showed this ability before. Maybe just unlocked it through training. Hmm. She's gonna be interesting indeed. And Yang jumps up and throws a big right hook to the robot when she's all powered up, and she shatters her gauntlets in the process, and her punch tears right through the robot but destroys the gauntlet, and the robot falls backwards and Yang lands on the ground, and very exhausted, she gets on one knee, and the the horn sounds, and Yang passes out from exhaustion, and Uraraka runs up. He's like, "Are you okay?" And that's the last thing she heard before Yang passes out. And the next thing happens is Yang wakes up in the not hospital but infirmary with the recovery girl. It's like, oh, good, you're awake. That was reckless what you did, but only a couple bruises and some loss of stamina. So just get some rest for the rest of the day, and I will let you go. And Yang nods. He's like, oh, what about that girl with the sprained ankle? Oh, she's taken care of. And she she went on home. She wanted to see you, say thank you, but she didn't have. She was gonna miss her train, so she had to leave. Yang nods. She's like, thank you for the help recover girl. And so she goes home. He goes like, well, how did it go? Yang with a smile is like, I think I did a pretty good job. we have to wait and see. So a couple weeks later, she gets her letter with All Might. She's like, "Congratulations, young Midoriya. Um, you have passed with flying colors. You got 160 uh villain points, and you also got some hero points too. So basically, I know my math is off. I'm just gonna say like she got 200, and so scratch the score before. Basically, for basically she got 200 and almost 90 points total. So just forget what I said about the villain points earlier. She got 290 with the hero and villain points. So he's like, "You almost beat my record." I'm quite impressed. And he's like, "You might have beat my record too, if you didn't pass out. But I happy to inform you, you passed. You got the highest scores out of all the kids so far. So welcome to your Hero Academia." And that's where we're going to leave it off for now. She finally got accepted into the school, passed with flying colors, um, tested out her gauntlets that she destroyed. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. And yeah, please subscribe. If you like the story, please hit the like. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everything so far. And I will see you in the next video. Stay safe, everyone. Peace out. Yada yada. Bye.